Hello and welcome. This is your GM in the Great Barrier, broadcasting from the center of your entertainment galaxy. And we are about to start up with some Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. Tonight we are on the third part of our current adventure. The Klingon pronunciation escaping me at the moment, so we're just going to go on from there and straight into a recap. When last we left off, the crew of the Jan has been stuck on Zethlor after a series of quite dreadful events. As far as all of you know, at least a third of the command level parts of the crew are missing. The remainder have reassembled on board the Jan, which, as you've attempted to power it up, you have found that the absence of the captain is hampering you first and foremost. He seems to have left some sort of blockage in the systems, like various protocols which prevent you from properly powering the engines based on his not being there somehow. So Raldar, as the senior-most engineer, is trying to figure that out. But Tabok's absence definitely hampers that as well, having worked on the ship in no small part getting it back into repaired shape. In terms of the question of command, Azek has assumed the position while you are trying to get everything organized, and he, aside from setting Raldar to work, also identified the most likely culprit behind your behind the spate of attacks that you have had. The people that have come after you, apparently hunting different bounties, be they on Raldar, apparently one on the captain, and one on Woe, who also disappeared. He seems to have deduced correctly, for the Nausicaan Bahan admitted it pretty much on the spot, and after being knocked unconscious, was given to Raldar to basically seek out the answers. You got more of a confession, but he was still very insistent on his sources, and that proved to be fatal for the Nausicaan, who did not survive Raldar's ruthless interrogation.
Raldar's interrogation.
He did not survive Kressik's ruthless interrogation.
You saying we all look alike?
Yeah.
I have known problems between the 8-foot-tall reptilians, and I am trying to work on that. I will be better.
You better. There's consequences if you're not.
Yes, I either get fed to the mutant clone of one or get turned into the other's next lab coat. Anyway, it's worth noting Traven himself very nearly did not survive Kressik's interrogation, but that's an incidental matter.
Didn't even do nothing.
It wasn't important, honestly.
No. What is more to the point, though, for Traven, is that amid that interrogation, he wound up learning from the doctor that they have somebody else he wasn't aware of on board. Specifically, the mutated clone of Raldar, someone whom the crew have been either referring to as Junior or simply Dar, and he was none too happy with that. We'll see more of that revelation later on. But first, we must go back to our captain, who, while the crew believes him to be missing, possibly dead, he has found himself in a very simple room in a cell, and he is not alone. Tabok, it's a little further ahead in the timeline of the moment when you wake up in here. You don't know how many times it's been now. Dozens, maybe hundreds have passed, it almost feels like. But sure enough, the floor comes to the coldness of the hull plating of the floor beneath you. is the first thing that rouses to you. Your other senses steadily come back, and once again you find yourself with your cellmate, Mindu.
You're still here.
I take no pleasure in being here, Tabok, she says. Struggling to her feet, she looks around, and to, you would imagine, would be the both of you, the room begins to take shape once again. As always, the floor is the first thing that you notice, but the walls and that single locked door resume their shape, or they reappear as if illuminated from. Well, they have. Let me put it this way: they appear each time, as if when they are illuminated, it's almost as if they are just appearing into existence. It is. There is scarcely a shadow of them, or like any reflection onto them, when they show up.
Yeah, and you said before that like the sound quality in the room doesn't change when it shows up.
Indeed. So. Well,
I'm still laying on the floor. I at least roll over on my back.
no.
And just sort of, you know, clasp my hands right there on my belly and just stare at the ceiling.
Well,
Is
Or-
the panel still off, or did they put that back after one of these
they
lovely encounters?
They appear to have put it back from the previous encounters. Well, we've managed to exploit that panel. Do we want to try and get a running start on that now, or are we taking this?
We've done it 5 times already. I'm tired of this.
I cannot say that I blame you, Tabok. She's going to plop back down, and I think that she'll actually lay down in parallel to you, but like inverted. So at some distance away, maybe like a couple feet away from you. Just taking her turn to stare up at the ceiling as well.
Come on, then. What are you waiting for?
There's
You
little.
figured out a more creative means of killing us this time?
Well, as you consider that, we get our first Quatlu spends of the evening from one Junkin Prime, here to grant the GM a point of threat, but also decrease the difficulty of your next roll. So, you take the good with the bad, I suppose.
I suppose.
Alright, so... let me just take care of that. Mindu glances over to you and says, "Oh, are you really going to encourage that thing? Or that being what... I don't know what it is. I don't understand this place terribly well."
I trust nothing in this place. Nothing makes sense. Or it all makes sense, and I don't like the sense that it's making.
Well, what have you figured out thus far?
Nothing I wish to share. There are way too many ears here. Come on, then. Ask your questions. Let's see if I answer them this time.
The silence holds over the room, and Says, do you seriously intend on answering it this time?
We shall see.
I guess there are times when even the proud can bend just a little. And sure enough, with a few more beseeches and some additional silence, eyes begin to manifest outside the door.
I can see them laying here on the floor. If I look over that way.
What is your name?
You know my name. You've heard me say it. Tabok of the House of Cord.
Whom do you work for, Tabok of the House of Cord?
None but myself.
Whom tasks you to your missions?
Whoever has the coin. And I don't take missions.
Who has paid you to strike at Imperial targets?
Never struck at an Imperial target. Unless they struck at me first.
It's a moment's pause. That is not what I have seen. Mindu looks over and is like, that is the first declarative sentence I have gotten out of it. But I have seen anyone get out of it.
So you've seen more people here.
I suppose that's an imprecise use of words on my part. I've only seen myself in this cell up until you showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Well, if you've not seen it, then you should get your eyes checked. Those lovely glowing orbs you have beyond the cell in which you keep a Klingon.
Let's see here. Why did you destroy the outpost at Shumashkad?
Do you mean the station over that ridiculous little mining colony?
One and the same.
That was a conflict between my ship and another. The station was an unfortunate casualty. Collateral damage, if you would. It's not my fault the other ship exploded right next to it.
He ponders for a moment more. Let's see. Do you know of the whereabouts of Commander Baola?
No. The name doesn't even sound familiar.
Oh, the shade cast at the man you put a hole in earlier. Have you been to Clock de Kelpracht?
And if I have,
What did you see there?
many things.
What did you see at QIbDaq?
Stars, gas,
Choose
Rocks.
your pain.
dealer's choice.
Oh, don't do something like that. What's this? What is this QIbDaq?
A place. Why they want to know about it, I have no idea. They
Oh.
want to go there, they can just go there.
No much that say little of help, even as others try to help you. Care not for your pain.
I am a Klingon being held prisoner by unknown foes. You're already trying to steal my honor. What does it matter?
Let us see how your honor holds to others. And with that, you hear at first the roar of flames, and though you feel the heat, you realize they do not cut into you. But you hear the shrieks coming from behind as Mindu is engulfed in a cone of fire that surrounds her, burning and searing at the flesh of her arms, and beginning to just like cause the skin on her face to become like coarse and cracked from its effects. She cries out and tries to move outside of it, but with each one the flames almost seem to solidify her. It's as if they've taken on a wall effect and prevent her from escaping the cone.
I watch. I'm trying to discern exactly what is happening. I'm looking for any inconsistencies. I'm looking for anything that doesn't follow the laws of physics. I'm just trying to keep my eye on absolutely everything that's happening to this woman.
There is no apparent source of the flame, near as you can tell. Anything more, I think, would take an insight and, let's call it, maybe insight and science roll?
Come on. Sorry, my character sheet is taking forever to open.
All good.
Insight and science. Trying to see if any of my focuses might work. Ship shield systems, weapon systems, warp core, electroplasma, xenotechnology. Would any of those be appropriate?
Thinking here, also going over the distracted whilst also looking over the chat, which, thanks for the good wishes, Junk and Prime there. That's, for those not in the know, that is our Commander Marcus Horn from the Aegis game. Likewise, hello to Craig from the Aegis game, our Lieutenant Shira, who has actually dispensed one more point of momentum to you. I'll just let that backfill whatever gets spent at the next point here. That said, I don't think any of those apply any of your focuses, Tabak.
Yeah. It's worth a shot. Nope. All right, I'm going to buy off that complication, please.
Okay, that'll be, I'll say, expend just 1 point of momentum from your pool, and the one incoming one from the chat will take out the other. Thank you there. So yeah, first off, just a note in the chat, Felix, you have a good night. You rest well there, and we'll see you coming up here soon. Or coming up this weekend. In the meantime, Tabak, there's no evident source of the fire. Nothing that, like, seems to make sense. There's no, like, apparent vent, which the flames appear to be coming from below her, just off of the tiles. There is no sign of, like, any sort of emitters of any kind that would be creating this. This cone of flames has just risen around Mindu and is it seems to be consistent. It also appears to, such that she is able to move at all, it seems to track with her, and just.
Do I smell burning flesh and burning hair and burning clothing?
You are starting to smell that, yes.
Okay.
As well as hearing our cries, to which eventually become roars as she just gets extremely angry with this. But the flames are such that she is not able to comprehend, she's not able to string together a sentence right at this moment.
Eventually, she's going to end up breathing in the flames, and that's going to be the end of her screaming.
Yep, that would logically follow, but for the time being, she's still, like, making her displeasure as loudly known as possible.
Can I reach into the fire?
You may attempt to do so. I will call this a fitness plus security roll. And I will call this a difficulty 3 to attempt to extract her.
Really? Can I just bend to momentum to make that work?
Yeah, you could create that advantage.
Then I will do that.
All right.
As long as the momentum holder is okay with that.
Ninja mode. Awaken.
Draven!
What? I'm so sorry. My thing was cutting out.
That's okay. If you could just drop 2 momentum, Tabak is going to create the advantage to pull Mindu from the flames.
Taking all of our momentum.
Sure thing. So, Tabak, you reach through and, quickly thrust your arms into the fire and try to remove her as expediently as possible. The flames lick and soar at your arms. It's a little hard to get through them, not simply because of that reflexive instinct to pull one's arm away in the face of that. Even as a Klingon, you still feel the obvious need to get away from that unnecessary element of pain. But it's it feels almost like forcing your hands through something thick, like a barrier of some kind. But you do pull her aside, and as you do, the flames also vanish. She's going to collapse to her knees on that one, just trying to get some regain her composure. And I'm going.
Is she smoking?
She's got some, yeah, she's definitely smoldering a bit. Like, she kind of taps out her, some residual flames on her arms and legs. There's slight bits of damage left from that. Just finding an appropriate marker to indicate burn damage here. Here, I'll just put this orange symbol here just to indicate phase.
How are we too early for a mind sifter to exist? Question 1. Question 2, are they general knowledge? Question 3, if not general knowledge, and if not too early, is there any chance I might know anything at all about them?
I feel like those are things that you would spend momentum to obtain information on.
Uh-huh. Sure!
Do it. Do it.
How many of those questions do you want to ask for that momentum?
Well, if it's not too... Well, again, if it's... The not too early is a meta question.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yes, you've given me 3 questions here, Sean. I want to know how much of that you want to pay for.
Just ask if you know of them.
Okay, fine. Do I know of mind sifters? There we go. That's the one I want the answer to.
Is that 2?
That would be 1 point. It is always 1 point per information obtained. And to answer that question, Tabak, as you examine the wounds, that thought does come back to you about a device that is rarely... the actual application of it is rarely seen as far as you know. It is rumored that the Empire and that some other powerful agents within it have such a technology, and that they have exercised, that it's something exercised on, say, the various, like, particularly bad criminals, essentially, or those whom the Empire or the houses feel they really want to squeeze for information. There would be little that, to this point, it has somehow escaped the hold, or you know that there isn't much in the way of a criminal element that has been able to confirm it. It's just something that, others say the Orions are mindful of. I will grant you, Klingons are fairly permissive in terms of some of the crimes that they might get punishment for in, like, Federation space. Or that they can't fill in every gap, but that bit of equipment is something, Tabak, you'd be aware of, and you know that it's at least possible to be exercised. How it works, anything practical to that, there are no living accounts that come to mind.
Right. But yeah, nothing here. He's just going to... Nothing here should be possible. Nothing here should happen. Look, are the eyeballs still at the door? Wait, they still are, aren't they? Yep.
They do meet you there, yes.
Filthy to talk. Get this machine out of my head. There's nothing in my mind for you to see.
The eyes meet your gaze. They narrow, and they disappear. And would you be okay with putting off that scene further for now?
Absolutely. Commercial break.
Yep.
Come back in to somebody else.
Yep. So, let's see. commercial break goes on, everything works. Advertisements for Gawk pockets abound. At some point, Joe and I will come up with a proper advertisement set of some sort, or in-universe nonsense. We'll figure it out.
If you want to have a commercial, Fallout for Hope is still going on, and we reached the 50,000 mark a few days ago. So,
hey, Fallout for Hope. Yes, because war never changes. But what's the rest of that? I forget.
war never changes, but hope always remains.
There we go. Yes, in all seriousness, be sure to check out, Fallout for Hope. I'm going to enter in that. I'm going to drop something both in the chat and for those of you that are looking in the, or for those of you that are watching this in the archive. It's still, we're at a time around the holidays. It's a worthy cause. So, by all means.
It's going on till December 3rd, so plenty of time. If you feel inclined to donate, the donation link, you can get to it through the falloutforhope.com. And yeah, there's a lot of streamers doing Fallout for Hope, so I think if you do hashtag Fallout for Hope in the search bar for Twitch, you can find a bunch of streamers doing it.
Okay. Just to double check, what was the date on that, Joe?
December 30th.
December 30th. Copy that.
December 30th,
Yes.
1987.
I have no answer for that.
I didn't expect any.
Very good. As the GM struggles to exist in this space and time enough as it is, we cut over to engineering, where Raldar, you and Kelshaw are knee-deep in components that are being pulled out of computers in the reactor pit. You each have hand tools at this point as you are monitoring some bits of the basically checking for harmful bits of code from some of the processors. It is a slow move. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you for a roll for an extended task.
Yes.
That shall be... I will call this Insight plus Engineering.
All right.
And before you do anything else, the GM is going to fix the embarrassing error that he has forgotten about because it has been a longer break than anticipated from when we last played this. I'll stand by, everybody.
Okay, then you get this.
That's fair. I will edit at least some of this out later, so...
Wow, blooper reel.
Blooper reel. Just watch it turn.
Blooper.
It becomes the tragic thing. Oh, I see why this isn't working. Because I forgot.
Oopsie.
We do have the soundboard.
Who voiced that? Who just said it? Who wants to die?
I feel like it was cheesy. I didn't see it, but I feel it.
My voice is too to carry that kind of a tone.
He was definitely him. It was definitely Joe.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
Okay, you've missed the embarrassing blooper that was the fact that I had not separated out the chat because of the Frankensteining I have had to do in order to make the roles visible on this screen. We have been playing without that being visible for the session. So apologies in chat, everyone. I have fixed that. That will just have to... It's going to look this way now for the rest of the game. So all good. Let's see. Yes. Raldar, I was asking you for an insight plus engineering roll.
All right.
I am going to say that the magnitude on this is going to be a total of... I'm going to say the magnitude on this is going to be 5. So work track will be at 25, just to underscore that this... well, no, I'll set it down to 20 and I'll decrease the magnitude. But this is only for, like... This is only something that would give you sort of base operability with parts of the computer system, essentially. This doesn't even give you full engine access necessarily.
Okay.
Rather, you can get main power back this way, but it isn't going to give you engines or full control.
Magnitude 5 is like how many breakthroughs I need? 1.
So in order, the way an extended task works is that once you succeed at the task, which I think it matches with the magnitude, so the difficulty should also go up to 4 for this as well. That is at least where I have it in my notes at the moment. You would roll challenge dice equal to, I believe it is 2 plus the relevant discipline. So it's 2 plus your engineering discipline. And then that work is done on the work track. It would take 5 in order to score a breakthrough.
All right. Okay. May I have an extra die, my dear Traven, for this? Is anyone...
That's a yes.
No.
Okay. So you may gain a single D20. You have enough momentum for that.
All right.
Spend it.
Let's go.
That is no successes.
That is truly, truly sad.
Yep. Your hand scanner has been moving at an extremely slow rate, and it is difficult to pull out some of the components. It seems as though it seems as though either you have gotten lucky insofar as you have found a set of the clean processors, or Tabak might have something more insidious that would be preventing you from actually finding it active here. The program could shift in some manner. So it's leaving you with something of a mystery right now, but no discernible progress is being made.
The hand scanner is running on Windows like Vista.
Kelshaw looks at hers and just tosses it to the ground and says, "Quite cha! I'm half convinced at this point the captain has rigged these as well."
I don't think the captain had a lot of foresight in doing this for the right reasons.
On that, we can both agree.
This might be the most effort anyone's ever put into a suicide note.
Patak. Well, perhaps we could simplify this in some manner.
What do you suggest?
If we attempt to... We could attempt to reinstall the processors and then try to program a more basic diagnostic cycle through them. Given how much resistance we are getting from these systems, we may be able to isolate the more essentially the processors that are rigged in order to identify them more easily.
Wouldn't hurt to try. Not like anything else has been working so far.
As Kelshaw ponders that and says, I will start replacing these so that we can actually conduct the diagnostic cycle. As she starts collecting those, Traven, would you like to enter the scene?
Absolutely.
Very good. So, collecting the scattered pieces of the engineering computer, you hand some over to Kelshaw and are giving thought to a diagnostic protocol when the door to the engine room opens. I should ask, Doctor, would you still be with Traven at this point? Did you follow him down here, or did you leave him to his task? Krasik?
Sorry, I was muted.
Quite all right.
Hello.
Hello.
Could you repeat that question?
I was just going to ask, as Traven shows up in the engine,
Would I be there?
the reactor pit. Yes. Did you follow
No.
him from? Okay.
No.
Very good. So, yeah, Traven, you step through and find Raldar standing there, surrounded by different sort of mechanical parts.
I'm gonna walk in and make my way towards him, and as I'm doing so, I'm gonna say, you know, Raldar, if I had a Darsec for every time I was killed by an angry lizard, I'd have 2 Darsecs, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Do you want another Darsec?
No. I was actually hoping that you could show me your friend.
My friend.
Mm-hmm.
Kelshaw.
No, the big one.
The big one.
The giant you clone?
Oh. Friend. I've been treating that more like a son.
Wait, that's actually real?
Yeah,
I
it's real.
I just thought that Croker was trying to pull one over on me. I'm going to keep working.
That's fine. And what about Dar or Junior?
His name's Junior.
They like to call him Junior.
You have no idea how much that actually helps.
It does?
Oh, yeah. You see, I need to see him. I need to look at him and interact with him.
Right now.
As soon as possible. I don't like my fear festering.
I guess I can spare a few minutes. Not like the ship's going anywhere anytime soon.
What's the problem with the ship?
Oh, the captain has locked us out of literally everything because he's not on the ship.
Why don't you find a programmer?
We've been trying. He locked us out physically and in the computer systems.
Well, yeah, I know you got the physical part down, but you just need a programmer for the electric one, right?
We haven't done all of them. He
Maybe
has
that
put
green
also-
chick can help.
Maybe. He's also possibly put hundreds.
Oh. Can't just turn it off and on again.
We tried that.
Don't you love our captain? Isn't he great?
Yeah, yeah. It's good to know that he would have gotten us killed if he had died at any point prior.
Yeah, that sounds like a Klingon.
Yeah.
All right, let's go see this monstrosity of yours. I mean, your son.
Yeah. Let's go. We'll make this quick. You want to feed him something?
I was actually thinking about a good relationship I could build with him is by trying out a bunch of foods to see what Gorns like and don't like.
He likes meat.
Well, yeah, but like, what kind of meat? Does he like it seasoned a certain way? There's a whole thing I got to go down.
He likes it in quantity.
Dog pockets.
And bloodier.
So he likes it raw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And we are going to run up to the Theater of the Mind real quick because I still don't have Junior's room set up. I know it should be a very simple one. It's just a
You did anticipate the necessity of it.
yes, I did not. Quite right.
And once you make that room, we will be using it more.
I have no doubt. Let's see.
See, Captain's already used him on occasion without permission.
Used what?
Dar.
What did he use him for?
We had
Mass
this
murder.
we had this mining station. We needed to leverage. And he just transported Dar onto it.
Okay, when you guys came back to Dar, did Dar start attacking you after?
No.
So Dar already knows friend from foe.
Yes, we've been teaching him. I've been teaching him how to talk.
How's that going?
Slow. It's going.
I'm not gonna promise anything because I don't know how I'm gonna react to seeing him, but I could help because I do a little bit less on the ship than everybody else to get him learned it.
That would be appreciative. I was tempted to hire a teacher.
See how I react to him first, but I'm willing to help because he's a part of the ship now, and he's your son.
Yes. So I do need to get that officiated at some point.
How do Gorns officiate that?
Why would I officiate it with the Dorn?
Who would you officiate it with?
The Empire?
Oh, how does that work?
I assume I'd go to a courthouse.
Traversing the corridors in the time that it has taken you to get up there, and I don't recall whether the elevators are working or if you have had to take the stairs because of the lockouts. If the latter,
Stairs.
then yep.
Stairs.
One
ladders.
more confrontation with the captain for later.
Another spite.
Yep. But yeah, you arrive outside of the door to the compartment where Dar has been kept this whole time.
All right,
Cool.
I give a few knocks on the door. That's how we let them know we're about to come in. Anything you want to ask that you feel might be important before we go in?
What makes him mad?
What makes him mad?
Yeah.
shouting, usually.
Okay, I usually don't do that.
Luckily, brandishing weapons does not scare him. Take that as you will.
Got it. Is there anything he likes?
He likes meat. He has a few chew toys in there. Oh, that reminds me, I got him a few things. Anyway, I keep him relatively well fed.
Okay.
Play safe to keep him, calm. Can't beat him properly. He's already too big.
Yeah. I'm sure I
Hey.
could find some good dietary stuff for him to fill him up.
Yeah.
See him.
Let's go in.
You enter in the requisite commands, Raldar,
Indeed.
and the door opens. Traven, it is a simple, it's a very simple compartment. You would guess it to be a smaller supply locker at one point, but one that has been stripped away of any of its materials or any of the intended cargo. Just very simple, darkened room to start with. If memory serves, there were at least a few objects that have been left in this room. Chains that no longer tether to their initial for their initial purpose, or are no longer in use. Go ahead.
I think we made him a bed.
Okay. Yeah. A large impromptu bed of sorts. So I will leave it to you to describe any further details with it. There would certainly be a bucket bloodied and stinking of like old meat that has at some point been used, although he's generally good about cleaning that. Likewise, a similar large bucket or trough that, as you step in, you can hear slosh slightly, sent askance for. On one end of the room, a large figure turns and stands.
My boy, Dar. This is Traven. You've met once. Traven Dar.
Traven Dar.
Oh my god. You did really good.
Yeah. Did a lot of work.
It takes lumbering steps towards you. First looking to you, Raldar, just to acknowledge your presence, then noticing the much smaller figure. He continues to step towards you. He's about, without quite relative sense of size, I'd say there's about half of this room between you and this creature.
The good part is he might still have associated a bad taste with Traven, so he might not try and eat him.
Gabagool.
What'd he say?
I don't know. He has a few nonsense words he says. Don't worry about it. I think it's just him practicing. I hope.
Raldar, Traven, give me an insight plus, I would say either science. Well, I'll tell you what. insight plus security would be appropriate, though, Straven, depending upon focuses you want to pitch me, I could give science. Honestly, I'd say that for both of you if you felt you had something relevant.
Can conversations, linguistics, well, though conversation. I also have survival.
Hazard awareness focus.
I would
That would
say,
have proven useful the first time you met Dar.
you know, to be fair for Raldar, he didn't meet Dar, strictly speaking, until the rest of you had met Dar. In Traven's case, most to the greatest detrimental effect. But Traven, for your part, I will say I'll allow a very loose use of linguistics. It's kind of observing behavior here.
Yeah.
Okay, that is 2 successes, both from Raldar and from Traven. So, Raldar, for you first, he seems to be very much adjusting his posture, his weight. In part, he has to modify how he moves through these chambers because this very good boy in the making is shorter than, rather, he is taller than you, so he's already, he obviously has to, like, crouch down a fair bit in order to take effective steps through the chamber. But he's beginning to just put as much weight seemingly forward as possible, or trying to, like, gesture up his shoulders. It gets to the point where he loses, he can't quite sustain forward balance, and so he's going to, like, start walking a bit on his hands. There's a definite, like, prowling, threatening sort of gesture about it. Or, like, some assertion of, like, not quite dominance, but definitely intimidation. And Traven, I think that's what you would read out of Dar as well. You are likely that you are a strange force, and that every bit of his body language is communicating to you that he's taking on something of a tentative but aggressive posture.
I will stand relaxed, but still. If that makes any sense. Like, it's apparent that I'm not going to move, but I'm trying not to be threatened by him.
I see. He closes further distance, making it to, like, where there's less space. He is still out of reach for either of your purposes, and is going to sniff at the air, I think. And let's see whether how he identifies you. I'm going to set this on a difficulty 2 roll in order to discern what happens next. Let's see. Traven, Dar. He's going to outstretch a single claw and hold it like at his considerable arm's length, which by his wingspan he can very nearly reach you. This very large claw is outstretched. It comes up to very nearly chest level, and I'm going to say he raises his left claw such that it corresponds about to the point, Traven, where his jaws made its mark on you.
I look down. I look at him. Okay. It's okay. And I'm going to slowly reach for his claw, and I tap it with my hand.
Time for the equivalent of an animal handle check, I suppose.
Oh God.
I think that I'm going to make this a daring roll here, but I will allow you to choose between command and science.
Ooh, both are 5. I'm going to
Well
go
then.
with command.
Okay. I am going to put a point of threat into the roll here, and I'm going to call this. Let's make this a. No. I won't make this a roll off here because Dar is, based on his earlier success on the previous roll, he's not certain that you are necessarily food or that, like, he's such that he can process right now. He's interpreting the Traven Dar perhaps in a different way than, rather than thinking of it as an introduction, it's a comparison. So, I will call this a difficulty of 2.
I have diffused attention. I don't know if this will apply. Whenever you attempt a task to persuade someone not to resort to violence, I may add a bonus d20 to my dice pool.
That definitely applies.
Awesome.
So, difficulty 1.
I'm going to use my join trait to gain irrelevant focus. I'm going to choose animal handling from Frem for being an activist.
And resistance later as well, I'm sure.
Yes. So let's do it.
And that would be 3 successes on the board. Your hand meets his claw and taps it for a moment. Dar looks a bit puzzled and recoils the hand, investigating over it, sniffing a bit, and then says, Traven Dar. He's going
Dar
to...
Traven.
Dar Traven. He's going to turn around and lumber over towards his bloody bucket. He's going to grab it and half in like a sort of bowling gesture, partly in like a like an effort to slide. He's going to send it your way. It's going to probably move with a little more force than he intended. Let's see just how much more. Okay, not that bad. It's going to roll up. It's going to roll up just a little bit shy and like spin around just in front of your feet.
Well, this has to happen. I grab it and I take a bite.
Oh God! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, Traven, you scoop a little bit of whatever substance remains in there. Oh dear. Give me I'm going to say first, give me a fitness and medicine roll, and I'm pretty sure. Okay, your palate can probably handle a bit more, but it's difficulty 4.
I don't think I want to make this.
A hustle.
I tried.
Tried.
Yeah, Traven, the mixture of whatever sort of half or like mostly chewed up remains. Actually, no, I suppose the Gorn don't really chew that much. The bits of like blood, probably some slime, possible bits of like. Actually, I'm not sure if the Gorn salivate either. Yeah, some unholy mixture of blood, slime, and like some other thing. Like it passes through your mouth, and it is the most nauseating thing that you have consumed, just ever. It's the worst. I
Can I make it around the door to where he can't see?
I will give you that. I will let you make it out of the panel, or rather, out of the room here. So yes, you relieve your guts outside of the chamber. Bucket clattering to your feet. Good.
Very good. Thank you. You want more?
He says, extending out his arms and like widening his jaw. Yes, he is very much inviting more food.
I'm gonna go whip him up something in the kitchen.
Let's see, I guess one question. Raldar, watching this whole exchange, how are you feeling over this?
This is new. Yeah, didn't think this one Draven would be this crazy. I'll see where this goes.
So as you watch Traven go about attempting to feed Junior, and for our purposes, I think that enough groundwork has been laid to where he can at least repeat your usual procedure without being eaten himself. Traven, your stomach will be unsettled for pretty much the rest of this time, but you have already vomited outside. I would hate to think whoever passes by. As a matter of fact, anyone want to give the comedic aside of a character having the misfortune of passing by? Seeing
It must
none.
be funny.
Sure, the captain could go walking by. Wait, no, they
You're not volunteering Azek in this situation. Anyway.
wait a minute.
Yeah. Yes, speaking of going down the line, while all of that's going on, we haven't checked in with Azek, the doctor, or absent the other situation right now. We haven't checked with, I guess, Croker in this case. Would anybody have anything that they would be wanting to do right now?
I'm just doing my thing in the medical bay. I've since locked the door so that Traven can't come back in.
Copy that.
Just doing my thing.
New coat, new
No need
coat,
to worry about that.
new coat, new
No.
coat.
No need to worry about that.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? Joe, Ray, anything your respective characters would be doing?
Just going over the sensor logs to try. We're trying to narrow down the readings from the areas that our crew got kidnapped. Trying to see if there's any residual. Trying to get our sensors to work so we can scan those areas, see if there's any residual transporter signals.
And
Go ahead. Oh, did somebody else cut in there? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it did sound like Kresik did.
I accidentally hit my key button. My bad.
Ah.
I did not mean to depress my key.
Gotcha. Okay. So we can always drop in on the bridge if you want anything more scene wise there. Otherwise, Woe, do you at least, or rather, Ray, do you want anything for Croker to do at the moment? Given everything.
I guess Croker's with Azek, trying to work on anything that would lift to the captain. He's alternating between doing that and just like lying on the floor listening to romance music and crying. So that's what I imagine Croker's doing.
Very.
Oh, I did let y'all know that the navigator's panel might have the records of wherever Bahan sent the messages to when he sold.
Did you now?
Yes, I did. I told the whole crew about that because I don't communicate with single people. I just use the entire crew-wide communicators for everything.
Yes. He has his own ship-wide hail feature.
He presses the button that's, big and therefore Gorn-sized, and not the button that's small and therefore not Gorn-sized.
Yep.
I'm just imagining him doing a lot of medical announcements over the thing. Captain, you have gonorrhea.
Oh, unfortunate.
No.
And just so you know, Croker probably should have headphones on because there's only the Klingon equivalent of AC/DC blaring through the jukebox we've got. Yeah. Somebody tried to put K-pop.
Nonsense.
We rejected that by a vote of captain. I'm captain right now, so K-pop got deleted.
To be fair,
Klingon pop got deleted.
I was going to his head.
And yes, Kresik would be the one to listen to K-pop. You are correct.
To be fair, I think that Tabak would have also deleted that. Or that Azek would not have changed the radio station or allowed any downloads.
There's an anti-K-pop ad blocker.
K-pop and block.
But when it break,
Seriously.
you think we have an ad blocker working on this ship and nothing works?
Oh.
If it's anti-fun,
Yes,
our captain installs it. Remember that.
It's anti-fun.
Oh, good stuff. Let's see. Sorry, just getting one thing set up. Okay, so
Croker, you want to check out that console to see if we can we can retrieve some of that data.
Ray literally just stepped away.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see. We'll give that a bit of time there. In the meantime, Vopri is poring over sensor logs. He rubs his like very pale, sinewy face and starts rubbing at his eyes in particular. Captain, I do not know how much more I can do. That not to say that the telemetry that I am unfit for my duty station. It is only I am puzzling over anything useful. There have been no signs of any residual signature from from Taybok's tracker. He chooses his words very carefully in thinking about how to address the regular captain, shall we say?
No worries. You have. If you were a Klingon, you would have brought glory to your house for how hard you've been working, and I know that you have. Taybok will know. When we get the Captain Taybok back, I will be sure to let him know of your diligence in these tasks. Do we have any ideas as far as getting around the security system on our end? I know the boys downstairs are working on the hardware side of things.
I will try to connect us to engineering, Captain. I need to. I have not found much I can do. I will say long range sensors are still inoperable.
Do we have any positive contacts here on the planet? This is one to him and the GM, kind of twofold.
Yeah. So Azek is, I'm sure it's more of like an exasperated, asking like question into the air. To which Vopri will go on and state what he says, but you already know the answer. Well, from what I gathered, all the contacts that the captain knew of here were all, strictly speaking, business associates of varying sorts. Zetlor has a reputation. If you are either able to do a job, or if you come with the Darsex to hire someone for a job, then an arrangement can be made. It is not a place that runs on trust. At least not so much for outsiders.
Do we know if Planet has an equivalent to a Radio Shack or a geek's den where computer savvy folk might hang out?
It is possible, but I must admit, I do not. No, do not frequent the planet.
All right. Is there any local news broadcasts or like a white pages or yellow pages that we can connect to?
I guess we could. I, we could try to open a communications channel to, let's say, at some sort of local office, or maybe to the. And we could always try to speak with the ground crew in this area. They may have some surplus materials. Otherwise, I think most of the business is handled out in these stalls proper, and there are dangers working in the streets of Guotakor.
Understood. As cautious as I am about this, I turn to our furry little friend, who I'm assuming is sitting on the captain's chair, and talking directly to it. You have the bridge, and I'll head off for the cargo door, the external door of the ship. I know it'll take me a while to get there.
Okay. Anyone plan on stopping Isaac before he makes his way out?
I won't stop him, but I'll join him.
As Zional or Kresic?
As Zional.
Yeah, very good. So,
I'd like to catch him on his way out.
Oh,
I'm joining. I don't even know where we're going. I missed that bit.
yep. Croker, you get up when you see Isaac leaving the room, particularly as Zional also slinks along. Traven, you... I guess question would be, have you changed out of your shirt from when you were sick earlier?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Like,
so,
if anything, I'm like shirtless. I did not want to wear that shirt.
Yep. So, Traven heading down to the... Actually, he might be on the elevator, presently shirtless, heading up to the... to his quarters in order to retrieve a new one, and the reason why the elevator isn't available when you guys, when the rest of you make it over to the bridge, or rather, when you make it from the bridge to the other section. Let me move.
Seriously, we don't even get to look at his titties. Not even a little bit.
Not
I
even a
mean,
little bit.
he's being picked up, so you would get shirtless Traven while on his way up.
Okay.
I'm
And
just.
I will ogle shirtless Traven the entire time.
I have no doubt that Croker would. But let's see. Let me just place everybody in the corridor. Everybody except for the cat. Okay. So, let's move the set around. Alright, so you traverse the corridor, going down from, coming from the bridge to the opposite end. Zional, Croker, do either of you voice words to Isaac as you are making your way down towards the, what I remember is the not properly working elevator? We can say the elevator works intermittently. Would that be a problem with you, Sean? Would you have a problem with
Yeah,
that?
the elevator would at least go down to let people in and out from the bottom.
Okay. So Traven
Because obviously he's not going to trap them in the ship. He's just going to brick it.
Maybe the weight sensor is such that he's only expecting like a big burly Nausicaan or one of the Gorn to block the ship. So when Traven's in there, they don't realize that it doesn't realize necessarily that it's a malign figure or doesn't consider it that way.
Well, you got to push a button to make it go.
Yeah.
It thinks the elevator thinks it's the cat.
I like
They
it.
probably have similar fitness scores.
Ow.
Ooh.
All
That was
right.
mean.
So
So where exactly are we going, Mr. Korg?
I'm gonna go inquire to the docking crew about if there's any locations where computer savvy people might gather. A radio shack, as the Earthers call it, to see if we can get a little bit of help with this computer issues.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I understand. We're going back out there where there were crowds of individuals of a unseemly sort looking for us to talk to people and announce our presence. Is that correct?
Well, I don't see us progressing further in here.
It's fine by
If
me. I just wanted to make sure I knew what I was getting into.
if you have a better plan, I'm definitely I'll definitely give a hand to it. Considering it.
I'm afraid I don't, but just wanted to make sure.
as you
I
go ahead.
I do like to know why precisely I'm putting my life at risk.
Well, like with any, for the glory, for the money, but mostly for the glory.
I'm glad you're keeping the lion's share of the glory.
As
Tabak gets my share the money. I've put plenty of scratches on his ship. Yeah.
okay, as the as you as your little group ponders the reason why, as it were, the elevator steadily cranks up and the door opens and you get the sight of one Traven Lex, a shirt bunched up in his hands, presently topless, uh, greeting you. For some, it might be a pleasant sight, but it would be immediately put off by the just absolute rancid smell coming from it, just coming off of him. Something like decay, rotten meat, like just the worst sensations immediately assault your nose.
Don't ask.
Traven, you burnt the gawk pockets in the microwave again, didn't you?
No, I threw up.
Do you need a new shirt, Traven? I have them for. Oh, wait. I had them for sale. Never mind.
I don't make money.
You don't?
No, I'm just kind of here.
Then
I'm pretty sure if I asked for something, the captain would get it for me.
But
The mathematical equations running by Zionel's face.
Captain, I order you to go get yourself cleaned up, and if you need a fresh shirt and fresh clothes that don't smell, get yourself that too, and we'll have the whatever quartermaster we have. Just put it on my tab.
That's me.
Then you can put it on my tab.
Aren't you supposed to be the captain? Or, in Tapelock's absence, the captain?
I am the captain.
Then
Nobody
why don't you
disagrees.
know who your Then why don't you know who your crew is?
Well, with the shifts, jobs recently, and positions, I didn't know if you had elevated to a different position to fill the gaps, as it were. Yeah.
Would I be being compensated extra for doing these jobs?
As captain, yes, you would get. For
Then
your,
consider yourself having whoever you need to fill whatever positions you require.
Taybok's gonna kill me when he gets back.
It's fine. Azek only pays in Gawk Popkits anyways.
Get Traven a shirt and clothes, whatever he needs, to get cleaned up. A stench like that, we really don't need. We don't need the rest of the crew getting sick.
While I have you, are you going down to the planet right now? Because I see you're grouping up.
Yeah, we're gonna go ask some people some questions about getting these computers figured out.
I was talking with Raldar, and I just remembered you should go talk with that green chick. I don't know her name, but I know she hung out in a thing that Tabok went to go see. I met her once. He told me not to talk to her.
As a resident of this planet, would I know who he's talking about?
You'd
Or a
have
former resident of this planet?
You'd have a pretty good idea that Traven's likely referring to Desana, the lady of the House of Iniquity, and easily one of the most powerful people on this planet.
AKA the person that I wish to be good friends with. Perfect.
If you know the person, can you get into direct contact with them? From
the ship, it might be difficult. I might be able to go in person,
though. Would you want up at all? I'd rather not take a crew out there to rouse suspicion.
Well, you see, here's the thing. Isn't that where your captain went, and then he went missing and almost killed? Or whatever happened to him. And then to have more of the crew showing up there that could be easily identified would be possibly problematic. Possibly.
I see your point. You could take Vopri, but I don't know how well he'd do.
Vopri. Vopri. That sounds lovely. But I think his skills are better suited on this ship. After all, he has to trace down wherever the Bahan sent those messages to, correct?
Indeed. Our options are slim. I'd rather you not go alone.
Go alone. Take one of these.
Yep.
What about the formidable Mr. Traven Lex? I have been so wanting to get to know our ship's chef better, after all. And he is certainly not Klingon.
I've got to feed Junior first, and then, yeah, I can do that.
That sounds
Right.
delightful. We have so much in common, you and I.
Do we?
Oh, yes.
Well, as
We'll find out.
as Traven is momentarily bound to this little quest here, Azek, would you delay your departure from the ship?
Yeah. Traven, make sure you take whatever you need, and one of those fancy trackers that the captain had in case we need to beam you guys out. I'll be back on the bridge.
Can we beam out right now?
I don't believe transporters are operable.
No, transporters are dead.
The new ones don't arrive till Tuesday.
So,
Should have paid for express shipping.
Now come, Traven, I can get you some bullion cotton shirts.
Normal shirt would be fine.
Take some
Believe
spare
me. Believe me,
currency.
after this, you'll be wishing you had a normal shirt. These are bullion cotton. He says, expecting you to know exactly what that means.
Be sure to take some extra currency for planet so we can get what we need.
Zional, right as he says this, I'm actually going to ask you to give me one more roll and the opportunity to think of a question here.
I love questions.
And I think we'll use that to close out this particular scene. So give me a reason plus command roll. Difficulty 1.
Any of my focuses apply? Equipment requisition, negotiation, or assassination?
I'm certain it does.
Okay.
And that is...
One success.
One success. Alright. So... as you are speculating over these lavish purchases and the future arrangements here of the crew, there is one other question that I think that would be asked and would be met with a corresponding silence.
So we do have the captain's account, right?
As far as I know, since I am the captain.
No, I mean where the money is stored.
You're the quartermaster. You're supposed to know these things.
Well, yes, but that was the captain's personal finances. I got copies of the records that I could navigate, but I never had access to the actual funds. Do you think I would still be here if I had direct access to the actual funds?
Yes, because you like us that much. And one more chance to experiment on our dead bodies when we fail.
I'm sorry, why would I experiment on... Who do you think I am?
A brilliant mastermind doctor.
You need your eyes checked, Mr. Korg. I am not a doctor. This is Zional you're talking to, the quartermaster. You do know that, right?
Oh, sorry, I had him.
Resic has never sounded that
The downside with my current setup, I can't exactly see the screen very well.
Gotcha.
I apologize. But yeah, the weight of command is quite a bit on it is getting to be quite a bit on Azik. So
regardless,
I'm trying my best here.
Fine. But unless we can unfreeze the captain's accounts, the only things we have to bargain with on this ship are more tangible items.
Corker leans back. What are you looking for?
Money.
Oh, we're fine. With that, he stomps ahead.
Selling the cat is not an option.
Well, sometimes you can bypass money with words. And if I could just talk to her, I think we could get it
If
done.
we can talk to her,
Mhm.
Mr. Lex, we can get anything done, I think.
Yeah. Croker, do you happen to like drop a Darsek or two as you pass by Traven?
You just hear, I feel like Zionel would tune into this, but probably maybe not. I don't recall, Crescent or Rev, if you recall, but Crocker has hinted at in conversations that money literally is not a problem for him.
Oh, he remembers.
Whenever
Oh,
he
he
was talking to
remembers.
you, whenever he was first like into you.
Oh, he remembers.
Do you remember this?
He remembers that, absolutely. If it's about money, he
I will take your
remember it.
silence to mean you do not.
Hello?
Either that or
Hello?
No,
my freaking mic went out.
Oh
Hello?
yeah, Mike went out there.
My mic went out.
we can still hear you, but I don't think you can hear us.
I cannot hear anything. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can still hear
Okay,
you.
what?
And
Excellent.
we heard you the whole time. So
Excellent. Love that.
yeah, Rev
What did you
affirmed
say?
that.
If
All
it's
right.
about money, he'll remember it.
Yes. When Croker says it is not a problem, it's not a problem. He has money.
You know, I did say that Klingons would be a problem, but I could make an exception.
An exception to what rule?
Well, we were going outside of the ship to talk with a woman who who the last time members of our crew were nearby, our captain disappeared. I didn't want to take any more of our Klingon crew with us because it could raise eyebrows. But if you're telling me that money is not a problem, and money is, after all, the way this world works, perhaps your presence would be beneficial.
Croker smiles. I see. But I see no fault in your initial logic, and with that he pulls out a giant sack of Darsex and plops them into Zionel's hands. You should handle this for me. So as not to compromise this mission. I do not want anything to happen to our dear beloved captain.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I can assure you these Darsex will go to proper use.
Oh, and Zionel. And with that, he grabs Zionel's face and brings it very close to his own. Do not mess this up. And pushes him back and before walking away.
Okay, I think that's the perfect moment to close that particular scene on. And so, snapshot of Zionel's face trying to process it such that we can see it between the hood and goggles that he always wears. The cheekbones and mouth are doing a lot of work for this. But one commercial break later, we find ourselves back in the chamber where the captain is presently being held. With him, a badly burned Mindu, who is working up the will to try and stand, or at least get herself oriented and back up against a wall. She's been very quiet since the earlier encounter, though not much time has passed for you. It's difficult, really, to say exactly how long it has been, Tabak. Also, welcome in, Omega Couchy. Hope you are enjoying tonight.
I kind of been stomping around in the cage.
Yep. And thank you there. Thank you there, Omega Couch. Anyway, back to the thing here. Mindu looks along her burnt arms and the damaged sleeves and gritting her teeth through the pain. Oh, next time that thing shows up again, you can choose yourself.
I didn't choose you. It did.
Then perhaps let me do the talking next time, and it'll... maybe it will... maybe it won't deign to leave me in this state.
None of this makes sense. None of this is possible. None of this can be real.
Oh, it feels very, very real, Taebok.
Undoubtedly. But so did every time we were murdered. And yet we're still breathing.
What are you even saying right now? All you've been doing here is stomping about and rambling about how this place doesn't feel real to you, or very little in the way of actually explaining or getting us out of this.
Have you heard of a mind sifter?
What is it? You think that's when some sort
We
of...
are in one.
That doesn't make...
That makes perfect sense.
Who would put me in a
we have
mind
been.
sifter?
I don't know. Same person who put me in one.
Why would they put you in one?
Heard the same questions I've heard.
And I don't have any... I mean, I've answered it at times as best I can, but I don't know anything about any special Imperial movements. I'll see one of their ships come by every so often, but I don't know anything. And why are you... You fought Imperial warships?
They fired first.
Why are they firing at you?
Because they're idiots.
Oh. She'll instinctively want to, clutch her head, but that, causes... she realizes that the movement in her arms, as well as, the burns on her face, cause her even more pain. And she's just going to slump down. None of this makes sense.
The reasoning why doesn't make sense to me either.
Tell me, Taebok, what is it you really do? I mean, you said you're from a fairly important house. You fought these Imperial ships, apparently. Even attacked them, so that's not just sounding like a warrior, that's almost more like a pirate, a marauder. Or at the very least, some foolish house warrior trying to seek honor and glory by picking a fight on whatever circumstance you dare, but you seem more clever than that. Help me make sense of why my flesh is seared.
God, Ugh. Give me a second here. I'm trying to break connections between what I know and what Tabak knows.
Fair enough. While you are doing that, I will say,
Because he still doesn't trust her 100%.
well,
Not
I
even
mean,
50%.
I mean,
You know what? Screw
if
it. Screw it. Screw it. Screw it. My house is troubled. My sire and grandsire were fools. Ours is not a warrior house. We were a commercial house. Fallen on very hard times. I have a ship. I have a crew. I take jobs. That is the extent of everything.
oh, come, you're just a simple trader.
Oh, not exactly simple.
Oh, this almost makes this worthwhile. Oh, I don't know whether whether the crackled and burnt tissue is. I honestly don't know whether it will win out or the absolute amusement. So what? You run a freighter, a garbage scow, and somehow you're outwitting imperial vessels? What, you catch a bird of prey captain infested with bugs?
Killed more Klingon warriors than I care to count right now.
Oh, don't
Destroy-
tell me you've actually seen some of their mainline cruisers.
I've fought enough.
Well, I will say this, Tabak of the House of Cord. You are quite deep in this, and quite foolishly so. At least it makes sense for one of us to be here now, doesn't it?
Maybe. But then again, I don't know who has us.
Well, who do you think could have us?
Any member of any one of them. Many families who are smaller in number now than they were before they met me.
Run afoul of the great houses?
Great houses usually have members on board ships. Do they not?
Oh, their people are scattered, although the great houses rarely at this point serve properly on an imperial warship or the your sort, any rambling sorts. You don't think the Durash would have someone out on a battle cruiser when all they scarcely do are patrol the borders or maintain security on the trade routes? No, I think I'd hear if one of them were being carried on a ship.
Why would you have heard it?
In my line of work, you can hear things like that. the occasional ship passing by. Of course, I suppose you wouldn't know anything about that, having prominent house members, or well, at least people from major houses on your ship, do you? You just do the jobs and take them, take it wherever it leads you, isn't that right? Even if it means blowing up the occasional battle cruiser.
You know, even you sitting there, half fried, I still don't trust you. I still think you're part of this.
Oh, be part of this scheme. Well,
It's too damned convenient you being here.
I consider it quite the opposite. I rather don't care for being in this room for an extended period of time with some warrior who, up until just recently, had been puffing up his chest at the notion of being a proud, honorable lord or warrior from a house of some repute. I don't know. Putting up such a ridiculous bluff.
And why would I give information to someone I perceive as potential enemy?
Well, I didn't say that you and I were still enemies, or that we ever had that status. I suppose I thought you were just beginning to warm up a little more. But I guess not. I suppose that you are so fixed in your convictions about me as you've been from the start.
Just sits there looking at her.
She'll look back. Tell me, Captain, before somebody else comes along to ask those questions, why do you happen to find yourself around these apparently stupid Klingon captains? What puts you in their crosshairs and in their even worse apparent judgment? What caused them to fire at you here? Or at those different places on your trip?
Inter-house conflict. And me simply being the intermediary between the two of them.
Oh,
With, of course, never being told of the conflict in the first place.
She'll raise her somewhat burnt arms and try to stretch out a little bit before letting them rest back to her side. Well, I don't know whether you're simply not telling me the actual situation because you don't know for certain, or simply because you're that committed, but I get a feeling from you, Tabak. There's still something that hasn't dropped yet. Well, at this rate, I think that's all I can. I think that's all that we're going to be able to do in this case. She rises to her feet. I will say you at least stand by your convictions, and, well, that could be useful, but there isn't so much in the way of wit as I would have hoped.
A smile just sort of starts to creep onto his face. So now the question is, where do we go from here? I'm guessing we're going out that door now.
I might. But you could probably just be left behind. Maybe after some time something useful will come of it, but I don't see a reason at this point, she says, taking her first steps towards the door.
I'm standing and right there with her.
You really think that if what you believe to be the case, you think that's going to make any difference to me?
We'll see.
She'll...
I make a deal. I give my word. I do not break it. And I saw through your tricks.
After a time, perhaps, but...
Do you think this wasn't expected?
I don't know what to make of you, Captain, because, on one hand, you did at least partly pick up on some of this, but, well, and you are stubborn to a fault, so that does have its uses. I could see it working in a different manner, but, oh, I just don't think that my patrons would care quite as much for the risk that would bring.
And return me to my ship before my idiot crew blows it up.
She'll think for a moment.
I made certain I set certain things in play should my crew decide to be difficult. I have no idea how much time has passed, but my ship right now is probably a useless pile of...
Tell
crap.
me, Captain, just one more thing. If I let you come through this door with me, what would you be willing to pledge to that end? What would you give? What pain would you choose if it meant being able to walk through that door.
I don't make pledges blindly.
No, you're a deal maker. So the question
would
becomes, what bargain would you make to leave this cell?
I would see my family's fortunes brought back to what they were. I would see my family in a much better position they are in now. My family, my house, is why I do anything.
And in return, what would you give?
For my house, for my family, everything.
And Tabak, with that, give me a presence plus command roll.
If you want some momentum, take it. Take a point of momentum for that third die.
Presence and command, huh?
Indeed.
And someone threw a momentum at me, so
Yep.
there we go.
Take a point of momentum. Give the GM a couple threat if you like. Yeah, whole process here.
Yeah, I kind of have enough threat so I can get another die.
Okay, I will take the additional threat to give you a fourth die.
And how much momentum was you?
It was
I've
1 point.
already taken it.
Yep.
It's already been taken. No, there's still 2 left.
Okay.
There's 1 left.
Oh, there's 1.
At 4 successes, Mindu looks over you. Oh, and you correct me if I'm wrong. You said you had bold command.
No.
Oh,
What's that? A trait? What do you?
That was a talent. I thought that when you offered up the threat there, it was a possibility of spinning.
No, my talents are widely traveled jury rig. I know my ship and my mek'leth.
Right, the personal effects.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at 4 successes, she'll study your face carefully, and the burn, like her badly burned, scarred face, will creak up into a smile. Very well, then. You shall give, Tabak, and you shall receive. By the guarantee of the House of Mokai. I don't have to tell you what happens if that name is repeated outside this room.
What name?
No. Did you not hear reference to the House of Mokai?
He was looking earnestly at her face when she said that, and he was like, "What name?"
Ah, right.
He's like, don't mention that name. What name?
Yep. Fair enough. She'll she'll wave her hand to the door in front of you. And it will disappear. And as you walk through, you walk through, and your entire field of vision is filled with orange and gold. And Captain, you find yourself from the from the vanishing side of black, from the corridor whose dimensions you could not make out from where you were standing. You now find yourself on a platform on the planet of Zethmore. Standing before you in the what has become an increasingly dusky sky, where sure enough you find the Yon waiting for you. The systems remain powered down, and at present...
I'm on my ship?
No, you are before your ship.
Ah, okay.
In essence, you feel that, like in the moment that you stepped out, while you are uncertain of the exact passage of time, you got the sort of orangish yellow sense of a transporter beam being exercised. So you are now in front of the ship. And as you are discussing that, the ship's elevator, conveniently, is coming down from the... it is, coming down from the ventral section, and out of it walk two figures. Let's see. Sorry, just pasting them in.
So, Traven, here's the plan. We're going to talk to this lady of the Den of Iniquity, and we're going to then go and figure out where exactly the captain... Ah, hello, Captain Tabak. We're going to go and see exactly where the captain is.
Where the captain, what? Has all of his money stashed?
Surprisingly enough, no.
Hmm.
We were trying to find you.
Well, I found me.
Please tell me you weren't just shopping.
No.
Oh my god.
I'm assuming the ship's a brick.
Yeah.
A big one.
Aha.
Where's Woe?
Well, wait, what?
Where's Woe? I assume she disappeared with you.
No.
Yeah, no, Traven, you were there when she got beamed away.
How
So,
long have I been missing?
How long has he been missing?
Better part of a day at this point.
Almost a day.
Well, that does not track. Wonderful. So I step on the elevator and I push the button. And it powers up and goes all the way up to the main deck.
Yep. Throughout the ship, systems begin lighting up in different ways. Raldar, you are busy conducting that diagnostic with Kelshaw, looking for any signs of the programming, and you might be finding some of the markers of it now. You've had much more time to study this. It seems like the process is starting to work when Kelshaw reports it. That everything's coming online now. I have engines back.
Really? Already?
I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything.
Oh, Mr. GM, do I have my stuff?
You do.
Okay. Just gonna momentary panic right there.
Yep.
Family heirlooms, don't you know?
Yep. Likewise on the bridge, where...
Oh, wait, that stuff. I hope you have that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Elsewhere on the bridge, Ezek, the systems begin coming online, and Vopri is able to access sensors. Captain, I have restored. I don't know what's happening, but I have main sensors once again. conducting
The
at...
door. I just stomped onto the bridge. Of course, you have sensors. Everything's good working again.
Yep.
Why are you in my chair?
I'm not. It's the cat. I'd never take your chair.
Okay. I was just
Captain,
making an
it's
assumption
good.
you were sitting in the chair.
Nope. Captain, it's good to have you back. I relinquish command to you. What are your orders?
Good. Where is everyone on board still?
I didn't think we were hauling wood with this trip, but I believe so. We were sending a group out to talk to some folks to try to get the computers back online, but I see that is no longer required, so we can recall them.
No, it is not.
I'm right here.
What happened to Woe?
That's our second mystery. Vopri, we need to, with Captain's permission, we need to scan the sector where she was last seen.
Scan for Kazinti
Uh,
in general, not just her, because there was another Kazinti there.
That's right. I recall you saying that there was a second one.
I go over to the engineering station, Mr. GM, and just punch up systems status because I know someone's had been trying to fix something because I would have expected nothing else. I need to make sure they're not at cross purposes and something's not going to go kaboom. Mr. GM.
Raldar, being the solid engineer that he was, had managed to bypass anything that would have put the ship in serious risk to this point.
All right,
Yeah, not yet.
They were tearing some systems apart, so I just need to make sure that once full power is applied and those systems being torn apart, there aren't going to be issues.
Yep. And I think that I am going to spend a couple of threat here to drop this as the ship becomes operational, and we move on to one final scene. But Vopri will first say, "It is no good. I cannot detect any Kazinti anywhere. Wherever they are beyond our range." And at that last line, Ray, Cheesy, you good?
I am good.
Good to go.
As Vopri's last words trail off, you have come to. You don't entirely have your bearings as of yet. You can only tell that your surroundings are confined, metallic. To the extent that your limbs move at all, there's something restraining them beyond the damage done from the earlier done whatever you were struck with previously.
Even if she can't really tell if she's restrained because she can't really feel any of her body.
Mm-hmm.
She is a noodle.
Yes.
A big furry noodle.
One large furry noodle. As she's trying to regain focus, she notices two figures not too far ahead, but at the opposite end of the little cell she's in. They just kind of look like blobs. But she can hear them kind of talk.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
You dunder-headed lummox. I told you to restrain her, not make her into a noodle. What is this vegetative state, Keg?
Easier? Easier is the word I'm
Easier.
going for. Yeah.
He walks over to Woe and lifts her head and drops it, and it hits the plating with a resounding thud. Ah, yes, easier. Exactly what we were going for. I see no downside to this at all. He is very much clenching his jaw, looking at Keg.
I will ask, although this figure is probably not in focus, and I'll have to throw down a question mark token just for now, can you give us a little description of this other figure in the room?
They are lithe, and they are a kind of electric blue with circuitry, like scarring tattoos, scarification in their skin. So they look like they're tattooed, but it's actually scarification of the different circuitry boards, the kind of like outline parts of the ship that have relevance to their job. They do have a very large mane, but that is probably the largest thing about them. He is still looking at Keg.
Listen. Hear me out. We are still talking about Woe, who is, as we both know, very dangerous. If I were to even slightly go a little bit less, she could have been fully awake this whole time. I wanted to make sure that she was down and for the count. And on another plus side, she's out of it right now. Like very out of it. She could say anything as she's coming to. I've been keeping track of anything that she has said. Well, most of it's gibberish. But you never know. Plus we can ask her questions while she's coming to. She might be more subservient. Her brain's not all there yet. Then again, it's not going much.
We're lucky she has a brain left, you trigger-happy no-goodnik. With that, he walks back over to Woe and crouches down. Lifts her face up. Woe, would you perchance happen to remember me at all? Let me see. I would like to roll and see if Woe can talk.
Okay. I will say we are approaching the hard cap, so give it a quick...
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna bother then. Woe just kind of going by voice, she starts to say, yes, you know exactly who I am, don't you? With that, he drops her head once more. Keg.
Yes.
You're in charge of interrogation. Go lighter this time.
Oh, so bittersweet. But
No plasma weapons.
a little more bitter. Of course.
He starts to leave and pauses once at the door. No flamethrowers this time either.
Just ask me to give her a meal and a massage. Of course.
He nods once and leaves.
All right.
Shouldn't have left, Woe. Shouldn't have left.
All right. And I think it is with that we are going to cap off for tonight. So thank you everybody for joining us. This has been episode 2 of our Star Trek adventures. We will be back in a while. We may start our new adventure after the break. We may at least get the next one going in a week's time, but we'll see for now. For those of you joining us in the archive, however, we hope that you enjoyed. that you catch up here or with our other show, Aegis. But we are signing off for now. So, hapla.